So guys, Xbox is set to have some of its biggest games dropping this fall and winter, and they're coming soon, and this August and September are no exceptions. We have the remaining August games coming, plus an early look at September titles. I'm Sunny, your host here at Xbox Central, and we kick this off with Atlas Fallen: Reign of Sand. Now this action-adventure title is one that released late last year, and honestly it's extremely underrated. It's an open-world action RPG that mixes exploration elements of like Assassin's Creed, but comes with the fast-paced gameplay that's inspired by games like God of War. And I mean, the combat in this game is gorgeous looking, and it's extremely fast-paced and fun. Not only that, the game is of course played solo, but it's also got co-op if you have a buddy to play with online. Now the story isn't much, really a lot to write about here, as you're battling legendary monsters for a new era of humanity, but nonetheless a new free update that just launched brings in new areas to explore, new enemies, revamped progressions, more new quests, plus a new game plus for those who are looking for a more challenging experience. All in all, this is a great get for Game Pass, and it sees a Game Pass release on cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S this August 22nd. So guys, we have the game Core Keeper. Now this is a sandbox adventure, which is a good mix of like Terraria and Minecraft, but here you get to play this game alone, or you can play with up to 7 other players cooperatively, and you'll be uncovering mysteries of a vast underground cave system. Now there's a ton of things you can do in this game. You can gather resources, you can build your bases like you would in Minecraft, although much simpler, or you can also explore the caves and fight a variety of strange enemies and challenging bosses. And I really dig the simple yet charming pixel art in this game. I think it looks pretty decent. Now the game's doing exceptionally well in early access. It's getting a lot of highly positive reviews due to its super polished gameplay. Xbox players will also get a chance to play this game pretty soon, as this will be a day one Game Pass release on August 27th. So I've gotten to talk about the game Sopa in a couple videos before, and this is a really charming little adventure game where you play as a young boy on a quest to get back her grandma's stolen potato. And to do that, you'll have to journey through this magical world, and you'll be solving puzzles, and you'll take on quests, and you'll meet a cast of colorful characters and play lots of mini games. Now the story unfolds through the interactions with the world and the people in it, and it's got a really nice and meaningful message, which I'm not gonna spoil for you, but the cool thing for me, at least I like this part, is that it's a short 10 to 12 hour adventure, so it's not gonna take a whole lot of time to get through, and it looks like a great game to kind of play with anybody of all ages. So if you have some tykes around, or you just want to play something a little bit more relaxing, more in that Pixar Disney-like world, I think this is a good one. This is expected to come out sometime this month. So we have the game Star Trucker. This is a game that sounds exactly like it's pronounced. It's a truck driving simulator, but guess what? It's in space. I mean, if you guys are into games like Euro Truck Simulator, but maybe you wish you could take those long hauls into space, I think this could be the game for you. Star Trucker lets you cruise through these vast star systems, delivering cargo while dealing with a lot of different challenges of interstellar trucking. You'll have to ensure timely deliveries, you'll have to manage your resources like fuel and even oxygen, and avoid, of course, getting hit by space debris. So unlike those mundane deliveries on Earth, and I have to say, it's fun for a long time playing like Euro Truck Simulator, but I do get bored after a little bit. This is going to be a little bit harder, a lot more rewarding, and it's going to have the unique twist of being set in space. You can expect the controls to feel a lot different from your average truck driving sim, and Star Truck Driver is going to be coming out as a day one Game Pass release on September 3rd. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, this is going to be it. Now the much awaited strategy game Age of Mythology is also making its way to Game Pass, and for someone who's played the original game, there are many reasons to get excited about this remake. For one, someone who is new to this game, it's almost like playing Age of Empires, except the units here are all based on mythical creatures and gods from Norse, Greek, and Egyptian mythologies. This adds a refreshing twist to the RTS genre, and it also makes it more challenging, as each unit comes with its own unique powers and skills, adding more depth to these battles. And what's also more interesting is that there's going to be 2 different editions of this game upon release. A standard one for $30, which just offers the base game, and a premium one that offers a new Gods pack and 2 new expansions for the price of $50. But for Game Pass users, you get access to the standard edition for free, which does drop on September 4th, with the option to buy all the premium extras for $25. So if you're looking for a strategy game, something we don't see a whole lot on Game Pass, this is the one to look out for. So the game Frostpunk 2 is the highly anticipated sequel that promises a more intense city building survival experience than the previous game, and from what what I've seen so far, guys, the game seems to offer more robust city building that's still easy enough to get started with, but can get a little bit more complex to master. You will no longer be limited to just controlling just a bunch of people. It's been 30 years since the last game, so the population has increased significantly, making it more challenging to manage, especially with faction riots and rebellions. And the other thing that the sequel seems to double down on is the tech and the law trees. Now, the law in particular seems to be more difficult to pass this time around, but that really just depends on how well you can negotiate, which is something I have to say I'm really excited to see in the sequel. Frostpunk 2 is set to launch on September 20th for PC Game Pass. However, it has been delayed for consoles, so for us on consoles, we're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. Ara History Untold is another awesome looking strategy game that takes a deep dive into historical warfare, politics, and diplomacy. And yes, guys, believe it or not, we rarely get strategy games, but we get two here pretty soon, and the game looks really ambitious. It kind of draws comparisons to like the Civilization series, but it takes a little bit of a different approach, keeping its focus on nation building and historical storytelling as you play as a leader trying to develop your nation by doing whatever it takes. You get to do all the fun stuff like building settlements and towns and gathering and managing resources and even fighting in intense tactical battles, but it's a lot more than just that. You can get into really diplomatic talks with other nations that can get pretty interesting. You can start trades with the ones nearby and even play together with other friends in multiplayer. One thing that makes Ara different from other strategy games is you don't have to wait for turns. Instead, you make decisions simultaneously, which makes it more unpredictable and surprising. If you're looking for this game, this one will be hitting this September, and it should be a good one when it lands on Game Pass. Alright, so this is going to be a little different than other Game Pass games, but in a way this is joining Game Pass, and we're talking about Overwatch 2. Now, this is typically considered a free-to-play game, but if you connect your Battle.net account to Game Pass, you're going to unlock a ton of gifts and freebies. This includes a ton of free hero skins, some cosmetic items from previous seasons, and even stackable XP boosts. And this is great news for those who love Overwatch 2, which, by the way, I have like, I think a good 600 to 700 hours in Overwatch 2, so I'm a huge fan. And I think this is a good time to get into the game, especially with Season 12 around the corner. And the cool part is that Season 12 has some exciting stuff like a brand new support hero, a ton of battle pass skins, 2 new maps, a new game mode, and a slew of updates to balance out some things that players have complained about. The game's seen a pretty good rise in numbers of people just playing it, especially the last couple months, and it looks like the game is just getting a lot more love, which is great to see. As someone, as I said, who has poured hundreds and hundreds of hours into this game, it's one of the best games you can just pick up and play, come back literally like months later or a year later like I tend to do, and you're just back to being addicted to it. It's just a fantastic shooter. It's one of the most unique shooters out there, and it's one that I just could not recommend more. And if you're a Game Pass user, you get some awesome extra perks that I absolutely recommend that you get into. Now, for those who don't know, Gamescom 2024 is right around the corner. I'm sure a lot of you guys might be as thrilled as I am. Maybe you're not, I don't know. But Xbox has a lot more stuff to really just reveal to us. They recently dropped a full list of all the games that are going to be featured in these live streams. Let me tell you guys, this list crosses 60 games, which is massive. We will get a lot of amazing games to look at like Stalker 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, of course more Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and there's just going to be a ton of Game Pass games featured and just things to watch out for, including a lot of first-party titles. So if you're like me and you're a huge gaming fan, you're not going to want to miss this. And for those who happen to not know, Game Pass is getting complete and early access to the open beta for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 starting August 30th. But the cool thing is you can start downloading the beta on August 28th, and there's going to be new weapons and gadgets and a new core 6v6 maps to try out. Plus you can earn exclusive in-game rewards in the beta while you sit there and wait for that full release, which of course also is going to be landing on Game Pass for all of us to play. If you guys are like me and you're eager for some Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the good thing is we don't have to wait much longer to test and try this out, and guys, I gotta say I'm pretty excited. So we have the game Expeditions Mud Runner. This is a game that's rumored to potentially head to Game Pass. This is all about off-road simulations as you lead a research team using high-tech tools to unravel mysteries of unexplored lands. You literally will be hiring your own team of specialists to go out and explore, set up bases, look for profitable avenues, all with your state-of-the-art technology, plus hopefully amazing team that you end up hiring. There is full customization of your vehicles and the types of gadgets and things that you want to include in them, and you'll be exploring these vast uncharted islands from Arizona desert, which is kind of funny, to the Carpathians. And if you're someone who loves games whose full focus is about vehicles, but you don't want a racer, you want something a little different, maybe you want an explorer, this is going to be a great game to check out on Game Pass. It's still rumored, but it came from a good source, so I am kind of expecting to see it. Of course, it'll be when that time is. So Vampire Survivors sees the Darkasso update, which brings more content, includes room 1665, and then 16 rooms that players get to battle through, and a lot more. And sadly, we do have some bad news, as the game Replaced is seeing a delay. It was set to come this 2024, but now we won't see it until 2025. This is honestly one of the more promising indie titles that I've seen in a while. I don't mind them taking their time with this one. Interestingly though, they just launched a 13-minute gameplay overview recently, like as of a few days ago, as you can see it on the screen, and there's some really cool gameplay, so it'll be a really good one when we get to see this land on Game Pass sometime next year. And finally guys, we have the games leaving Game Pass this August, including a big one that I've always liked, an Atomic Heart. I'm really sad to see that one go. Guilty Gear is also a pretty good game as well, but I do have the best games on Game Pass you can play this August on the screen, so don't miss that out because there's some hidden gems in there.